Spring football is underway for the Michigan Wolverines, heading into an offseason where they hope to keep their championship habits and momentum rolling. The running back room had arguably the biggest re-addition of any player this offseason, getting its star back in Blake Corum. He was a near Heisman caliber player last season, which was thought to be his swan song in Ann Arbor. After a knee injury late in the year derailed his season, he elected to come back with unfinished business. He and Donovan Edwards will once again combine for one of the best duos in the country. Here are our three biggest storylines to lock into with the running backs leading up to the spring game on April 1st. Number 1, Blake Corum's workload. Corum is about as known a commodity as it gets at this point. When healthy, he has the capability to be a workhorse back for Michigan, which we saw from him last season. His vision, his contact courage, speed, athleticism, it's all there. He's the complete package, and it makes him one of the best all-around backs in football. And yet, the knee injury he suffered does create some questions about his workload in the future. Corum had a torn meniscus and sprained MCL at the tail end of the season, which was surgically repaired in December. The timetable for that recovery is about 6 months, meaning he should be full go for fall camp. Spring football is going to be dedicated to recovery. He will not participate in that. Now, the Wolverines put a lot on his plate in 2022 with 7 straight games of 20 or more carries and 25 plus carries in 6 of those 7 contests. It was going to be an 8th straight game too. The knee injury that he suffered against Illinois came on his 17th carry of the first half. Now, assuming all goes according to plan in his recovery, Corum should not have any restrictions on him this season. But he does have a knee surgery on his resume now. Michigan has more than a capable 1B option in Edwards, and even with a clean bill of health, dialing Corum's workload back should not be entirely out of the question, assuming everyone else stays healthy. Number 2, Donovan Edwards mixing in. Edwards has his own improvements to make, but it remains to be seen how much action he gets in the spring as well. He is set for another surgery on his hand this offseason to repair an injury suffered towards the back half of 2022. If healthy, it would make sense for Michigan to use him and Corum as more of a tandem than last year. Edwards is not worried about how the rotation shakes out, because there should be plenty of production to be had by both. Edwards told our Clayton safety earlier this offseason, it has its up and downs. He says about Corum returning to the team, I don't want Blake to have like 250 carries when he could have gone to the NFL this year and gotten drafted in the 1st or 2nd round. It has its positives and negatives. At the end of the day, we're both going to get ours. At the end of the day, it's God's plan for both of us. I'm excited to have him back. With him, we could have won the national championship. He was that key piece we really needed to win it all. Edwards still has a ways to go in terms of his development as a running back. He is a tremendous offensive weapon, especially catching the ball out of the backfield. If he gets the ball with green grass and daylight in front of him, he is a threat every time to take it to the end zone. Ask the Ohio State Buckeyes how that worked out for them. But his carry-to-carry consistency is really going to determine how much of the timeshare he has running the football. A lot of his production comes on chunk plays, which is great. You want that in an offense. But he still has work to do in developing as a potential every down running back. Number 3, who will be Michigan's 3rd running back? There was some buzz that CJ Stokes had considered entering the transfer portal after the 2022 season, but that never materialized into a move. Michigan will need someone to emerge as its 3rd running back this year once again. Stokes could be the biggest beneficiary of a larger workload during spring football. Now, he was inconsistent as a true freshman, but few expected him to come in and crack the rotation right away. Stokes is a stout runner who has a little more juice than we thought he had coming out of high school. There's been a lot of talk about Mike Hart's recruiting of the position, but the former 3-star was a find, and his attitude fits the bill too. Stokes is a player we should be keeping an eye on to take a sophomore leap, but he is not without competition. Michigan toyed with Kellel Mullings at running back late in the season and thinks it may have found something, at least in short yardage situations. Tavier Dunlap is also on the clock heading into his junior year, while former walk-on Isaiah Gash is now on scholarship. A dark horse could be true freshman Cole Cabana, who is an early enrollee and will participate in spring football. Who emerges this spring may point to how the lineage looks during the 2024 offseason, more so than who cracks the lineup this fall. We know what Corum and Edwards are. It's going to be really interesting to track the progress of the young tailbacks during the spring football session. Thank you so much for watching. For more videos from the Wolverine, whether it be football, basketball, recruiting, live shows, and more, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for the latest.